The SFL Hall of Fame, heading into season 11, will induct 5 finalists from the owners, contributors, and league staff nominations. It will elect 3 active or former user players in the league, and will elect 3 non-user players, otherwise known as legacy players, into the SFL Hall. Tonight, we're proud to introduce the nominees. First, owners, staff, and contributors. The Hall of Fame finalists are Eric Barkley, owner of the Queen City Corsairs. Tim Johnston, former owner of the Baltimore Crabs. Thomas Paternitti, former owner of the 2-time champion Minneapolis Maulers. Kyle Walsh, former owner and league founder of the Orlando Intimidators. Ronnie Nickens, former owner of the Cleveland Stallions. Jermaine Smith, the SFL's current president and Hex expert. Michael Irvine, the owner of the Oklahoma City Renegades. King Havo, the creator of the All-Pro Football League Hex editor. Myself, thank you for the nominees, or thank you for the nomination, and our Director of Player Personnel, Andrew Restelli. Andrew, this is an incredible list. Only 5 of these, this list is getting in. We're certainly honored to be on it, but there's a lot of incredible people on this list.
There's a lot of incredible people on this list. It definitely outlines the history of the SFL, and of course it has me. So it's definitely going to give whoever gets selected from this list is more than deserving, especially you. I mean, obviously Eric Barkley's got the rings. Jermaine has the knowledge and the experience, and Michael Irvine's been around since season 1. He's still hanging on. So, yeah, I am very impressed with this list, and there are no wrong choices here.
Now to the Hall of Fame finalists of user players. The Hall of Fame finalists include 6 user players, 3 of which will be selected into the Hall. Those 6 finalists are Matt Wilson, current quarterback of the Mexico City Aztecs. Greg Corky, retired wide receiver of the San Antonio Vaqueros. DR Sim, current wide receiver for the Houston Hyenas. Eddie Gage, current safety for the Houston Hyenas. Richard Snowden, former running back of the DC Dragons. And Aaron Arrington, current cornerback of the St. Louis Gladiators. Andrew, we've had user players in this league for a couple of years. This list is not as long as the non-user player list, but the legendary user players are still, that list is still few and far between, as these players certainly stick out.
Absolutely. You have, in this list, you have the longevity of Eddie Gage in addition to his career stats, as well as DR Sim. You have the legend that is Richard Snowden. I don't see any way that he probably does not make it in. Aaron Arrington, in the time that he's been in the league, has just been a consistent force in the secondary. Matt Wilson, before he retires, if he's not on top of the passing all-time list, he will be pretty close. And Greg Corky, of course, being right there alongside DR Sim for a few seasons, and now they're looking at possibly going to the Hall of Fame together. This is a great list.
We've seen the finalists for owners, staff, and league contributors. We've seen the finalists for user players. Now we'll see the finalists from the non-user players, the legacy players list, the players that started the SFL and made careers for themselves atop many, many leaderboards. The Hall of Fame finalists are 3 will be inducted into the Hall. Park Hee Chol, former running back of the Queen City Corsairs, among others, Nick T. Quick, former wide receiver of the Baltimore Crabs and the Santa Fe Gorillas, Jake Legacy, former wide receiver of the Queen City Corsairs, Joseph Redfeather, former quarterback last played for the Oklahoma City Renegades, Rocco Marconi, legendary quarterback for the Minneapolis Maulers and Grand Rapids Rollers, James Cooley, wide receiver of the San Francisco Bulldogs, Johnny English, running back for the Carolina Skyhawks, Pete Bruschi, running back of the Oklahoma City Renegades, Billy Joe Casper, former safety of the Oklahoma City Renegades, DJ McCoo, former linebacker of the Queen City Corsairs and New York Knights, Koma Kaleka, return specialist and safety from the Minneapolis Maulers, and Rick O'Reilly on the defensive line of the Louisville Wolfpack. Andrew, there may not be non-user players anymore, but these players were the ones that we all fell in love with when a lot of us first joined this league.
Yeah, I've said it before. Our history is steeped in these non-user players. Of course, we don't have the actual flesh and blood that goes with them, but the heart of this league definitely pumps through these guys. Johnny English, of course, probably the best running back that this league has ever seen to this point. We're still waiting for someone to be able to take over him just for this sheer longevity. DJ McCoo, one of the leading tacklers and just defensive players in this league. Rick O'Reilly, still the all-time sack leader, although Big Sexy is trying his best to catch up still. Koma Kaleka, special teams demon. We may not see another Koma Kaleka in the league. I hope that there's a user that's able to match that talent, but he's been unstoppable. Rocco Marconi practically broke the game. The guy just absolutely dropped dimes and bombs all season in season 4 and has just been a force the whole time that he had been in the league. Parkey Chul, little dynamo. Joseph Redfeather played for 9 straight seasons. These are the names that breathe the history into this league.
The inaugural class of Hall of Famers will be revealed during the Wild Card Wednesday doubleheader on March 28th.